Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
So, those of you who've played role-playing games with me a lot, specifically the Paizo modules, will kind of have an idea for the pacing. So I've said this is a 3-chapter adventure. This is the final chapter. So, if you live, there's probably enough XP to level up at the end, but at that point the adventure will be over. So this is sort of the highest level, the last level that's adventure. And I'll say that for us, we're not quite at a year from when we started recording the podcast. We did some test records. We played through the Pathfinder beginner box. There's still some old edits of those floating around somewhere. So maybe one day we'll put out the test recordings of us playing the beginner box together.
Juice.
That was
where we found Cave Juice.
Yeah, the best fantasy acid death metal band, Cave Juice.
The inside joke that no one will ever hear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I it's kind of cool to think that we've been doing this. How are you all feeling? Just not even about like the narrative of the game, but we've been doing this for almost a year together now, either through preparation or practice or play. How you feeling?
I make a lot of jokes, but I love you guys.
No.
I don't think I like anybody here now.
We're the opposite for him.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I didn't know Jason or Jared when we started, and now consider you guys friends, even though we meet up like once a month, something like that. So, I think we have really gained a rapport really quickly, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. We've bonded.
We've been through some stuff.
We've been through some
Shared
stuff
drama.
together. Exactly.
And I can't imagine not recording these games with us. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's like how this game's being played. I think it's even so enjoyable that we have discussed with other people, like, hey, we should play this game and we should record this because we're doing it already and it's fun. So I think that it has done a lot of cool things. I think it's made us closer. It's made us better players, for sure. Better players, especially at this level. And it's just been a really cool experience, right? Like, we're not necessarily creating from scratch, but at the same time, with our characters, we are. So it's like a creative way to have fun with your friends.
I was joking about this, I think the other day. I know Jared and I were talking about it. Like, for me, even if the podcast sucks, it gets 4 other grown adults together with me to play a game.
Yeah, 100%.
Totally.
We even discussed that this is like how groups fall apart, and this is like you can't fall apart because you're recording and people listen to you.
Yeah. Well, when James first told me, I think it was like because James and Jared were talking one day, and Jared was like, "You should do a podcast of a game." And when James was first like, "I think I'm going to do this," I was like, "Yeah, that'll like never work." And like, no, but like when we even started doing it, I was like, "All right, we're going to do this like 3 times," and then people get busy and it's like hard to make it work, and it's a lot of work to set up all the equipment, and I hate building characters and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like we'll do this a couple times. It probably we probably won't get to the end of it. And I'm super excited to get to the end of this story.
Yeah.
Like and it was, the episode that we had where we all died. I thought all of our characters were done and we were going to have to figure out some way to like wrap up the story or bring new people in. I was really sad because I was like, I love these characters actually. And I really want to see I want to see this through. And it's really exciting to like get to the end of a game like this, because I feel like with some of them, they're so long that, what are the odds that you really can play through consistently for like 3 years to get to the end of like a 6-part adventure? But this has been so digestible and the story is really good. It's like my favorite actual plot line that I've ever played.
And for the listeners who are not aware of like some of the inspiration for this, I hope that we discuss it towards the end.
Yeah.
So that people can go back and kind of experience the lore, I guess, behind how this game was created and like how some of the storylines play out.
Oh, like some of the author's notes I've shared about inspiration.
Like obviously Poe is one of them, and it's like really cool to hear all these like little bitty. I'm guaranteed we're gonna get like put in a wall in a basement,
buried alive.
Like, I'm ready to be buried alive in a basement. But it's cool as someone who reads a lot, right? Like English majors and people who are into that kind of stuff, just to see those inspirations.
It has been just like truly a good time. And like there's some work that goes on with the podcast stuff, and that's honestly something that I've come to find I really enjoy too. But it's just stupidly fun to like set a date, get together with your friends, sit down and hang out and do this. So I just kind of want to reflect a little bit back right before we jump into to leveling up. Because I mean, look, I know we started at a high level, but I feel like you've all earned these levels at this point. And it's stupidly cool for me as a GM to get to run a story when the stakes are, because Pathfinder and Galarian for sure definitely sort of has like a scaling system, and that adventures are always important to your characters. And whether you're your homebrew stuff or the phenomenal pre-written stuff where you're kind of mixing things together, you're going to have a great opportunity to create a character that's really invested in their story. The kind of stories you deal with in the pre-written stuff at these high levels is like you are saving countries.
Yeah.
And it feels earned. It's so freaking cool. So before I just spend too much time gushing, I have a hand up.
Can I say one thing about that too?
Hell yeah.
I also really like playing at the high level because I feel like it's really tempting when you're playing a character to make them really important all the time. And for me, like there's a certain amount of like suspension of disbelief, but I'm such a like movie, TV, book person that I always want role-playing games to feel like I'm reading them in a book and, you know, like really be in the story that way. And it's way less about like the rules and the character building and stuff like that for me. So it's always really hard when you're a low-level character and you're like, oh yeah, but I'm the main character of this story and like the gods care about what I do, because I'm always like, why would they care if you're fighting a goblin? You know, like it doesn't really matter. But this is really cool because I feel like I've gotten way more excited about my own character, having her have these developments of like being spoken to by a god. And when you think like the monsters we're dealing with is some undead aberration that could kill an entire country, and we are some of the only people that won't just immediately die being around it, it kind of makes sense that like the gods of this world would pay attention to what you're doing. And, you know, it feels like the backbone of the game is so much stronger at this level that can help the narrative be really fun to play and follow.
All right, let's go around. Who wants to talk about, did I get the number right? Level 18, right?
Yes.
Oh, because I did not want to edit that out. Who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about their level 18?
Mine's quick and easy.
All right. What do you got at 18?
Fox became master in stealth.
Ooh.
So now he can essentially hide in plain sight, which is cool.
That's so freaking cool. I did also, it's one of the things I like when I look through the way that they don't just have like a number rank in a skill, that you have those things so they can sort of not necessarily gate, but give you an idea that like, yeah, if you're trained in stealth, you're good at sneaking. If you're, would you say, a master in stealth?
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh, they're so good, you don't need, and they can kind of add some extra rules behind these titles. And I liked that a lot.
Yeah. And probably the biggest thing is to access to 2 level 9 spells. 2 more level 9 spells.
Yeah. Yep.
You didn't even, I feel like the whole last chapter, you didn't even do a ton of spell striking. You were just beaten down.
I wanted to against the death fight.
Yeah.
But every time I tried, I figured it would get interrupted. So I didn't there as much. And then I feel like there was another one, maybe the last one. I would just had the action economy down where I was not taking damage, and it would have messed with my economy a little bit. So
all right.
I want to do it more.
Couple new spells, increased your stealth.
And of course, the normal HP and AC bump, which is nice.
Yeah, that's, so there was, I forget which of the designers, I think it was one of the lead designers at Paizo, was talking about this. And so I wish I could attribute more. If I find it, I'll try to make mention of it somewhere. But they talked about how one of the things that I really like, and you can play, there's an alternate rule called like proficiency without level. But by essentially tying bonuses to the level, one thing I think is really cool, and when you're playing a longer game especially, but even in an adventure like this, because of the way things scale up or down with level, a creature or like an enemy type that's a boss at one level, a couple levels later is then just sort of like a rank and file enemy. And it feels like there's this kind of cool narrative beat of like, what took the whole party working together to beat one. A couple levels later, you're like, there's 4 of them and we just took them out while fighting something else. Mm-hmm. So I do like the scaling of AC with that. Like that's, at first I was a little put off. I was like, well, then why doesn't everyone just have the same AC and get no bonus? I was like, well, over time, people's bonuses do differentiate.
Yeah.
Like some are going to grow at greater numbers than others. Like if you're an expert, level +4. But so anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff. I think the scaling creates really awesome narrative flow over time. Who wants next? Let's talk level ups.
Mine's pretty easy too.
Cool.
One thing I took was Savage Critical.
What does that mean? Because that
means
sounds
I
awesome.
crit on 19 and 20.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting.
All right. And I'm going to say, because we've always been saying that cards are on natural 20, I think I'm also comfortable with cards being on a natural 19 because it's not the AC plus 10 crit. I think it's the only on these very specific numbers on the physical die. And I'm going to say for you, that'll also be card on a 19.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then I've been taking the leaping feats.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally paid off, and I have this really dope thing called Cloud Jump, which basically means I can bound around because I also have boots of bounding.
Okay.
I don't think I brought that up. So I can leap around the battlefield.
So
like Tom Bombadil just...
You've got moon boots.
Moon boots.
I was just going to say Mario.
They're yellow. They're bright yellow boots. Not
Nice.
really. I'm joking. They're not bright yellow.
He's not joking. It's true.
It's canonical.
Who wants, that just leaves Trent and Jane for level ups.
Jason, you want to talk about mine? You did it. Just kidding.
You were doing stuff and I helped you. I made you pick it all out.
This is not a secret, but I hate the character building part of this. I like having a character, but I hate doing all of the you need these things to get to this thing. But regardless, I got the HP and AC bonuses, or bumps, which is really nice for Val because she's a little bit down on the AC front. So that was nice. And then I got a couple of really cool new abilities, one of which I think I want to keep secret from the GM for right now.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I got something called Wary Disarmament. And that's essentially a +2 circumstance bonus to an AC versus traps when I fail to disable it. So that's useful. And we've, kind of run into that a couple of times. I became an expert in occult because we've been dealing with a lot of occult things, rolling a lot of occult checks. So that just seemed a little bit helpful. A secret ability. And then one more called Grit and Tenacity, which is when failing a fort or will save, reroll with a +2.
How many times a day can you do that?
Let's see. Once an hour.
Oh, shit. That's
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
24.
super solid.
Yeah. 24 times a day.
That's a good answer.
Which I think also just kind of makes sense for Val at this point, because I think that she was kind of like an assassin that was out of the game for a little while and got kind of called back into the more action heavy life after taking a break. And I think that she's just having to come back a little tougher now and deal with this really intense situation and monster that wasn't necessarily what she thought she was getting herself into. She thought she was coming here to be like, I'm going to eliminate some Grey Gardeners, cover my ass, and then get out of here. And now it's become just so much more than that, and really, a bigger scheme at this point. So I was excited about that. I felt like it was good and within character, and hopefully will help me not die before the end of this game.
Yeah, the AC boost, I forgot about that one too. My AC is stupid high.
Yeah, yours
mine
is
too.
stupid high.
Yeah.
All right. That just leaves Watson. What are you rocking?
So I would say it's one of the smallest things, but will probably end up being one of the biggest, is that he took a 16th level class feat that really he should have taken at 16th level, having seen what it is. Effortless Concentration, which is a free action to sustain a spell at the beginning of your turn.
That's
that is
fantastic.
So
that's
that is
huge, yeah.
amazing
That's
action
huge,
economy. Basically allows him to cast 3 action spells during a turn while also sustaining. So that's huge. A 9th level spell that I'm going to keep secret until I use it, just to frustrate the GM.
Sure.
Love it.
And the sort of the nightmare stuff that we talked about at the end of last episode is actually related to a feat that he took, or a part of his free archetype. And
which you now have.
right, and the GM is aware of it, and it will just kind of come into play when necessary.
Okay. I can dig it. Well,
If it makes you feel better, I took a 7th level feat that I should have taken a long time ago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kip Up.
Yeah,
All right.
it's great. It is. I use that all the time.
I didn't expect to fall down as much as I have, but
We've been falling down a lot. It also was super helpful against those Grim Reapers that we were fighting, because just something that has a reaction, you don't trigger any sort of reaction when you get back up, which is really nice.
I also did get assurance medicine, so I can, without rolling, get a result of 36, which passes the call 30, I assume.
It's insurance. It's 10 plus your proficiency bonus, but not your ability score modifier.
Yeah, Hero Lab tells me that it's 36.
Yeah, I trust it. It
so
knows what's up.
I assume, can I just call 30 and it's like an automatic pass?
Yeah.
So that's neat.
And as we like to say, when you level up or when you hit the end of a chapter, that does mean you get a patch.
Yay.
All right.
So I've tried to pick out some fun ones for different people, maybe foreshadowing things. So let's go around. I don't know what's what, but I just picked out ones I thought were nice. So there's a patch for Jane. Pass this down to Trent. Pass this one to Jared. And here's one for you, Jason. All right. Everyone's got a patch, and everyone's got a leveled up character. So I think it's time to get back into the world. Time in a big sense is still a factor in this adventure, but you have like an hour and a half, 2 hours easy once you all rest to about probably 11 a.m. And so I imagine that with an hour and a half with assurance, you can heal the whole party up pretty much without blinking.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably even just be one round of, it's not battle medicine, but like treat wounds would probably get everybody up.
Okay, so we're talking even like 10 minutes and you're all set and ready to go.
Probably.
So it's the next morning. You all meet back up. Do you have anything you need to do in town? Any appointments before you head back to the crypt?
We have to go meet
Kenzin.
Yeah.
Kenzin Navarro. Oh, the Pharasman herb seller
Yeah, because
person.
we trashed his house.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, so I think that's the only thing that we had, right? And maybe like purchasing something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got to stop by the pharmacy.
Oh,
the town cries out there.
That's awesome Syrinscape in the
Yeah,
background.
at
Giving us
first
some
I
Oh,
was
city
that was
sounds.
Syrinscape?
Yeah.
Is this like the town bustle?
Giant worm crashed the monastery.
Read all about it.
Yeah. So, I think you left a note to meet him in town somewhere the day after the party.
Someone shut up that man out there.
Val shoots him.
He's very loud.
Actually, what we should do is give him your money.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll give him 2,000 of your 4,000. We fucked this place up.
Who goes to meet with Kenzin?
I will.
Dro, anyone else?
I'll go with him, yeah.
So Dro and Watson, you arrive at the area where you should meet him. How long do you wait for him if he doesn't show up on time?
Half hour.
No.
Because time comes, he's not there, 30 minutes go by, no sign of him.
Oh dear. It's been some time.
I'll stay if you need.
Oh, yes, my knees are getting rather sore.
So I'll stay another 30 minutes.
Okay, you hang out another 30 minutes or so. No sign of Kenzin.
Looks like we get to keep that money and he leaves.
Is there like a hustle and bustle going on today? Like, are people aware of what happened, or that something, or are they just kind of like, just another day in Galt?
Don't ask
Wonder
questions.
where my neighbor is.
So
Probably not dead.
It's a little bit of both. I think there are people out, and I think lots of people had horrifying dreams or feel really sickly, but they're doing better. Of course, lots of people were at the party and escaped, and you could just sort of say like shit went down. But I don't think all of them know that the gardeners are a little pruned right now. So I think there's probably still this fear of like, just act normal, don't say anything. We've joked in podcasts that this is secretly just the China Mayville podcast with bonus Pathfinder afterwards. And they talk in one of the books in Purdue Street Station a lot about how like there are these things that are happening at night.
You mentioned it.
Well, no, not just yes, the book, but there's a whole bit in the book where like people are having horrible dreams because of these things that are happening, and so the town has a different vibe to it. But people are still going out because they don't know why last night was so weird, and like rumors from the elite may be leaking out, but no one. The gardeners are still a problem in town. No one wants to be known as the person who's opening their mouth and talking about the gardeners too publicly.
It's actually such a scary concept that there is like this untouchable kind of governing body that is secretly a death cult, You know, I feel like that is just something that most of the average people would, they're just still like cowering in fear of the Grey Gardeners, and they don't even know that there's a way bigger threat on the horizon.
It's fun in like a major population area too, because you think of like corrupt leadership in like a small town, especially in like fantasy settings, even like True Detective, you know, like in the South, like a little pagan group, but like on such a larger scale, like someone who actually dominates the government. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Can you remind me really quick, James, about the role that Camilla Dronach has currently? She's like part of a governing council, right? That's supposed to kind of keep an eye on the gardeners, or?
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily. So Camilla Dronach is the leader of the Revolutionary Council, which is the current ruling body in Galt.
So she's like the president.
She is the leader of the current ruling body in Galt. The gardeners, it's an interesting one because depending on if you're not from Galt, the sort of general consensus is that the gardeners are basically the like maybe secret police of Galt. And under previous rulership, the sort of maybe symbiotic relationship between a government that wants control through fear and an organization that wants fear to exist may have been a little more present. But that's all minutiae to people who don't live here. So if you're from outside of Galt, the perception is the Revolutionary Council exists and the Grey Gardeners are their secret police, you know, enforcing their will, removing problems from the countryside. If you live in Galt, you know that sometimes the Grey Gardeners seem to have interests that are different than the Revolutionary Council, and some people wonder, does the Revolutionary Council guide the Grey Gardeners? Do the Grey Gardeners guide the Council? What is that relationship? And at this point, both from what you know of talking with Camilla, like at the beginning of the adventure, and what you may have seen here, is that clearly the Grey Gardeners kind of do their own thing, and the Revolutionary Council has sort of just let a lot of these rumors exist because it's better than the truth of, yeah, there's a murder cult organization in our community and we can't do anything about it. And so it's sort of that position that maybe if they wanted to run the country, they could, maybe they have the power to, but they don't seem to be wanting to do it openly. So maybe don't question it. You're still not sure what their motives are, but you know from Camilla that at least her as leader of the Revolutionary Council does not control this organization.
It's a really interesting parallel to like France during the Terror of you have a body that's like officially in control, but then you also have squads of people cutting off the heads of anybody they want to, sort of.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of that theming in this whole region, much less this adventure exploring that more. So before you're going down into I assume you're all going to the crypts. Is that kind of what I hear? Going to go venture down, find out what's going on?
Do we have time to get talismans attached? That's up to you.
I mean, you can buy some stuff.
Okay.
Talismans are, they take what, like 5 or 10 minutes to attach.
Like
it's moments. But yeah, if you want to hit up some
that
places.
Vapor Sphere one is for disabling traps, so I really want that before we
What
go
level
down.
is the talisman, and is it uncommon
That's
or common?
The thing it is. It doesn't say that it's uncommon or needs GM approval.
That's fine.
It's
So
a level
common.
14 though.
I was going to say, I think with a little bit of work, and like I know Val explicitly has underworld connections here in town already.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do
So
have.
that's kind of Drosharis' thing too, is seedy underworld folks.
And what do you? But like I know, do you have the feat? Because I know Val actually straight up has the
I have
feat.
Underworld Investigator.
I don't have the feats that she has, no.
So I'm going to say with those connections, without any rolls, super limited quantity, but you can find consumables of up to level 15 in town.
Okay.
Above that, going to be hard.
Okay.
So
How many can we get?
You can probably get. You know what? Here's what I'm going to say. Each person can probably find up to 3 consumables if they're looking for them of items up to level 15.
Okay.
So I also would just check with Dro and Watson and probably buy whatever is the best option for being able to see. Because Val's just a human, so she can't see in low light or anything
You
like
need
that.
like potions of dark vision or some type of night vision goggles or...
Or I mean, I'm sure Watson has the spell light. Oh, Trent's looking at me.
Oh, do I?
No. Nope.
You don't.
My sunlight in the
Watson.
bottle's not for you.
No.
Things you can buy really cheaply. Like you can even just pick up an ever-burning torch if you want. You have to have a hand free for that. But the nice thing with ever-burning torches, you can drop it on the ground
You can put,
as a free action
you
and
can
then
put
draw
it in your
way.
bag.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
There's
really.
also a lantern, like an ever-burning lantern or something along those lines.
Ever-burning torch is the most common one. But I'll say is like for simple mechanics, it's a little harder to track, Jane. But if you keep a torch in your hand, it's always a free action to drop something. And since you draw both your weapons as a free action, as a part of initiative, you can just begin combat, drop the torch to the ground. It'll illuminate.
I mean, I don't know
where it is.
how like strict you want to be with that kind of thing, but I just feel like as people who are 18th level adventurers, we probably would have a lot of that figured out by now.
I mean, it's up to you. You have no idea what it's like down in the crypts. You haven't even been there. You don't know what the lighting situation is or isn't. So
I will get the ever burning torch just in case.
what I'll say is it's up to you how much time you want to spend trying to solve a situation you haven't encountered yet.
Yeah, but I think it's like if she knows she's going into a crypt, she's not going to be like, oh, I'll just be blind the whole time.
Sure, yeah. Picks up an ever-burning torch. How much are those? I don't think they're crazy expensive.
Go look it up.
You can afford goggles of night. Yeah, that's what they give you.
That's
Dark vision.
dope.
Yeah.
So if you
Is
have 150 is a regular set. Greater is a +2 to perception and dark vision.
Cool.
So you can definitely afford those and have plenty of money left over.
Sweet.
All right, so you all pick up everything you need to, and it's probably about 1 p.m. at this point. What's everyone want to do now?
Wait, so Kenzen never showed at all?
Correct, no show.
Oh,
Do you guys report this?
that's right. I tell you, like Kenzen never showed up. That is,
He's probably dead. He was probably at that party.
Wow, way to bring the party down.
yes.
Someone send
We
him
need to go.
a magical message. Anyone? No? Okay.
A magical message?
Yeah.
Oh, should I send a magical message?
I think you can, can't you?
To a psychopomp?
Oh.
No, you can just cast the spell sending. I don't know I don't know what sending does.
Oh, I
but
don't have to just send it to the psychopomp?
I do not know what the spell sending does off the top of my head.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Fox, look it up.
I'll get back to you.
Have my people look into it.
Oh, the maestro's instrument. We forgot to sell that. It's worth 19,000 gold.
Oh,
Wait, what?
We'll sell that when we get back. Yeah, 19,000 gold. So even if we sell it for half, it's like 9,000.
Handle
Holy
that shit
cow.
off air.
We will.
But yeah, you can go liquidate or trade some stuff. So it's about 1:30 p.m. What's everyone going to do?
I think Val's just getting ready to go. She's like, we gotta solve this problem. She's gonna designate the worm as her lead, as one lead.
Mm-hmm.
And is it like too vague to say just like the crypts in general? Or like, can I say like the entrance or...
I mean, you can say the crypt, but I'll say that like for your mechanical abilities, you aren't going to be fighting the crypts, so you won't be able to like devise a
Doesn't-
stratagem against the crypts.
Doesn't help me like figure out
It might help with some
more
checks
about the
against
layout
that.
or the traps or the checks.
It might help with some of those at some time, but you'll probably want to keep because you can change it every so often, right?
Well, it takes 10 minutes. So when you're like in battle, it's a little
I don't
bit
think it
hard to
takes
do.
10 minutes. I think it's every 10 minutes. Doesn't
Oh,
it
sure.
take a minute?
Yeah, that's right. We did figure that out. Yeah, okay. I'll just leave it as the worm for right now because I
mean-
don't really know what else to do.
Sure. Okay. So what's everyone going to do?
Sending. You can send a creature a mental message of 25 words or fewer. It can respond immediately with its own message of 25 words or fewer.
Okay. What's the range? Oh, God.
One creature with whom you are familiar.
That's the target.
And
the
the
range
range
is planetary.
Planetary.
Okay. So yeah, Val will say I can send him a message just to see.
I just
And
want to know
so
if he's alive.
she'll send Kenzen a message saying, "Where are you?" with an R.
You up?
Yeah, you up? Yeah, but she'll just say, we are looking for you. Are you in danger? Are you harmed? Please contact
Please contact who?
Drosharis Orwind at
Your phone number.
At Knight's
Batman Knight's Wrath at gmail.com.
Oh, come on. It's
Hotmail.
at AOL.
Yeah. AOL is him. I have a Hotmail.
Mm-hmm.
Watson is the AOL.
I've had it for 40 years.
At Netscape.
Okay. So,
As
mhm.
Joe Shars gets ready, he puts his armor on, walks up, maybe Watson is stretching there, getting his old bones out of bed, and goes around the back to check the brick.
All right.
So stealth around, check the brick.
Brick's still there.
Nothing is behind it. Joshar nods his head, puts the brick back in.
So I will note, sending has the ability where the target can respond immediately with its own message of 25 words or fewer.
Okay.
You get no response.
Ever?
I mean, in the time that you
Forever.
Between now and the time Val dies, does he ever get a response?
between when Val casts the spell and whenever now is, you have at that point not yet received any response.
30 years later, he's like, oh, my bad, I forgot.
You know how it
Had this
is.
thing on mute.
I didn't respond at first, and it was so long that I just felt awkward saying anything.
I mean, I think that Val really only sent the message because the group wanted her to, but I think she's like, he's probably dead. A lot of people die around here. We have bigger fish to fry.
All right.
One last thing that I want to do is spend some time here casting Energy Aegis on Val. She gains 5 resistance to acid, cold, electricity, fire, force, negative, positive, and sonic for the day.
Excellent.
All right. Someone keep
Thanks,
track of that because I
buddy.
will forget.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do we go north or south?
So do you all return to the monastery then?
Yeah, of course.
So you walk up there. This time it's during the day. I have to imagine it's kind of an odd sight to see anyone after, the few rumors that have crept out throughout the day, to see these 4 figures walking up this long exposed ramp to this, sort of hilltop monastery on the side of the edge of town. The 4 of you are striding up there. And you step back in. Now there's the sunlight coming in through the holes in the monastery ceiling and the rubble. And you're able to follow without too much difficulty Nelibet's instructions, and you find sort of a guard station in the monastery's ballroom, and from it descends 2 stairwells, one to the north, one to the south.
Are the bodies still here? Or does someone take care of them?
Some of the bodies are still here, some are not.
Oh,
Which of the
actually,
bodies are still here?
There's not a pattern that you're able to deduce.
It's not like all the civilians are left.
No,
and the
it's
Grey
not
Gardeners
like all
are
the
gone.
civilians are there,
Okay.
all the Grey Gardeners are gone.
Okay.
while we're sending messages, I don't think that she'd go so far. I mean, maybe if she can cast the spell again, she would do that. But before we go here, Val will send a message to Camilla Dronach telling her what happened.
Are you going to use... I think the sending is once a day from that charm.
Yeah,
Let me
she'll just
check.
send like a regular message, like send a bird, or she'll tell Watson, tell your bird friends to go tell Camilla.
United Galarian Pigeon Service.
Yes.
So many of them have died.
Oh,
So sad.
All of my friends, I may have killed a significant number with a meteor, but we'll talk about
As Val
that.
says, people die every day. You can die, and it's not a big deal.
yeah. This is exactly what happened between you and that rhinoceros, and we do not have time for this kind of thing.
Oh, God, that just got sad.
And she's gonna storm out, and she'll just send a raven or whatever to Camilla Dronach, basically, with news of what happened. And, yeah, it's a good thing you didn't come to this party because it really sucked.
Okay.
And also just say, the Grey Gardeners are not what we thought they were. There's a monster that's going to kill the entire country. Send help.
Okay. So now you're at this guard station, 2 sets of stairs descending into the depths of this monastery.
Joshar starts walking down the north set of stairs.
Okay, here we go.
Val will
Let's go.
follow.
So let's talk 2 things that one's a classic and one's a more of a second edition question. Let's talk marching order. Who's in front?
Well, who wants to stealth?
Dro, you're better at it.
Okay.
And you're also
Yeah, you're
tougher
And
character.
if something happens, I
You're
can.
front of the line.
Yeah, so I'll
So-
front of the line.
You're just you're gonna be in front because you're stealthing what, like 200, 500 meters out in front of the group, or
Within at least a one turn of movement from
I'll
Lux.
I figured I'd be back.
I'll follow Dro. Val will go right behind him.
so are you staying right next to him? Or are you giving him some leeway in front?
Hate when these questions get so specific. It makes me so nervous.
What's your speed?
30 feet.
So I'll stay 30 feet ahead of you, and
Yeah.
we'll stay 30 feet ahead of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we all stealthing? Because I have quiet allies.
Oh, that will help.
Yeah, because
Watson.
Watson can.
I'll still.
So everyone is collectively choosing, not that you pick, but I'm going to assign the stealth activity. So that means none of you are rolling to find traps. That means none of you are getting bonuses to initiative. But
That's
it does
the question. If I'm in a stealth, maybe someone checking for traps.
Didn't Nelibit say that he checked it out and the north one is more safe?
More safe.
More safe.
Thinks.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't know how important stealthing is right now. Just going in. Because we're kind of going to like...
first person should be stealthy.
All right. So maybe we don't all stealth.
Watson would want to, like, check for magic.
Okay.
Detect magic?
Yeah, detect magic.
Yeah, Val will just be
yours?
doing perception.
Can you stealth and check for... Because I am a legendary sneak, so I'm stealthing all the time.
Well, and so that's exactly the case. So basically what happens is whatever you're actively doing, that's what gets checked against. Everything else is against your DC.
Okay.
So can be. But it also lets me know what to roll for you in the background, how to start you off in combat. So, Jason, I'm hearing that Drosharis is being stealthy.
But I also want to be checking for traps. Like, that's the thing. If
I'll
nobody's
check
checking for
for
traps,
traps.
I want to do it. And
I'll
I
do
just
it.
took stuff that allows me to be better at checking for traps without getting hurt.
So, let's not work about the party. Let's just go around the horn and tell me what your character and their character is doing.
As I am walking out front, I am checking for traps.
All right, so you're perceiving. Jared, what's Fox doing?
Stealth.
All right, you're being stealthy. Watson, you're like detecting magic, looking for signs of magic.
Correct.
And Val, what
I'm
about
doing
you?
perception. And at this point, I would like to tell you about my new feat,
Okay.
Ooh.
which is Sense the Unseen.
Mm.
And so I have this ability called That's Odd as part of an investigator, where I can walk into a new space and automatically notice one thing that's out of the ordinary. But it specifically says that it doesn't apply to creatures or monsters or anything like that. So this is basically the counterpart that is specifically for foes. So when you look for foes, you notice the slightest of cues. Even if you fail a triggering check, you automatically sense any undetected creatures in an area where you're seeking. So I guess the thing that I'm generally doing is seeking.
Okay, great. So what I'll say is you all start working your way down these staircases, and you can feel yourself getting pretty deep beneath the monastery. And despite how wide this staircase is, the air here feels close to you. Like you can feel some ominous pressure pushing into you. As you work your way down, grooves in these steps hint at what must have been uncountable numbers of feet that have worked their way up and down these steps over probably centuries. As you go deeper, you also start to feel a pressure sort of pushing into your head the deeper you get. And what I'm going to say, I'm not going to give you the details, but what I'm going to say is recall knowledge checks will be more difficult while this is pushing on your thoughts. And if you are ever stupefied, it'll be even harder to cast spells. Not normally, but if you're ever dealing with a stupefied condition, the DC to cast spells will be higher than normal.
Is this a non-permanent spell or a condition that's being applied to us?
This is just an environmental factor, essentially. You do not have a condition applied. This is
That's
just
what I was... Yeah, if I get determination and just get rid of it, but no, okay.
So you work your way down the steps to the north, and you find yourself in a small, like 10-foot by 10-foot room. Because of what you said, Drosharis, you're down there by yourself. Val's 30 or so feet up the stairs behind you in this 10-foot by 10-foot room, basically. So the rest of you, it's going to be Watson and Fox. You're 60 feet up the stairs behind everyone. You don't really see what's down there. Drosharis, you're just kind of down here in this room by yourself.
I'll wait for them to catch up.
So you all catch up into this 10-foot by 10-foot room, and then there's or
at least when they're on the stairs, I'm checking for traps in the room and...
Sure. And that's some secret checks. You know what? You all leveled up, so I need to go ahead and get some new bonuses from all of you.
Ooh.
Okay, so just updated everyone's perception and stealth stuff, so I don't have to ask you for that every single time you do anything.
Can we talk really quick about something we discovered about stealth, which is that, Watson, what is your stealth?
His stealth is an untrained 4.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, okay. So it's just further reinforcement for me that Watson exists to undo everything we're trying to do all the time. Because we will be like, oh, we need to lie. And then Watson just tells them exactly what we're doing. Or we're like, we need to stealth. And Watson's like, clunk, 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 clunk.
I will say that at the very beginning of the adventure, when we were all being brought in for various reasons, Watson was very confused why he was being included.
Because you're a great healer.
Yeah.
So you got that. So you're all in this 10 foot by 10 foot room, and there's a single door basically to the northeast of the room that you're in. Yeah.
Check it for traps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And see, here's the nice thing. I don't have to ask your perception bonus. I can just roll. Oh, cool. Look at that. You don't find any traps. Door is pretty heavy door. Looks like pretty well maintained from checking it out. Jane, did you say you were also checking for traps?
Yes.
Okay. So
You should disable it because if you fail, you have that new thing.
Mm-hmm,
And can I change, since I'm always stealthing, can I be scouting?
sure. So and as I would narratively put that, you're just hyper alert for danger. You are ready
Yep.
to call the group to arms. Okay. So Jane and, well, not Jane, I guess Val and Drosharis, you both do hear like kind of muffled sounds of movement through on the other side of the door when you're checking it out.
If we hear that while we're doing whatever
Mhm.
else, Val would like to designate the source of the sound, her other lead,
Sure. So you're keeping the worm or the crypts?
the worm.
Cool. So yeah, the source of the sound, and you hear like a little bit of a clank occasionally, like footsteps. Clink, clink, clink. Just sort of like someone doing something on the other side of the door.
And I think Val would quietly be like, who would still be here after last night?
Nelibut.
Kill him.
Let's find out.
Detect magic, picking anything up.
Yeah, detect magic is getting God, what do you get? What do you get from detect magic at this level?
Basically, if it's a magic item within 30 foot emanation of him, he can pinpoint it to within 5 foot cube, I think.
Yes, there is a to the farther north of you. You are picking up
the highest level magic.
Yeah.
And knowing the school of it as well.
You are getting. Do you know the level or just the highest, or just what it is the highest level?
You pinpoint the source of the highest level magic.
Okay. You are picking up something that is evocation magic about 15, 20 feet to the north of you. And that's what you're picking up.
Okay.
Should we knock or just open the door?
That's
Well,
up to
you
you.
know my vote.
That's up to you, Mr. Sneaky.
Stop yelling. Oh, sorry.
Watson, shut up. Val is going to draw her dagger and her gun.
Okay.
Oh, halberd's out.
Oh, by the way, at the bottom of these steps, you do notice that there are ever-burning torches mounted in this room, fully illuminating the room, but the shadows seem to move in slightly unnatural ways. You're not sure what. Maybe it's like takes too long to flicker, like maybe the shadow isn't perfectly in sync with the flame. Can't quite put your finger on it.
Weird.
Would you like me to open the door? Because, look, they're going to see me no matter what. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
send Watson
We'll
in.
hide behind the door. You open it.
Pretend like you're having one of your episodes.
Oh, I don't know what you mean.
And he'll walk over to the door and he will push it open.
And it almost, like silently, like perfectly oiled, maintained, opens. And you can see racks and alcoves to the north full of armor and weapons, all sorts of stuff. But you don't really have a lot of time to look at it because what you do see are two hulking, masked men that are, it looks like they were working on maintaining and sort of like maintaining oiling and prepping the gear in here. And as the door opens, they both like in perfect unison look up at you.
Hello.
I would like to call this move. You know how there was like get help for
Yeah.
the door? This is called Hi, I'm Watson.
We need to do a hi, I'm Watson.
Hi, I'm Watson.
And the first one looks at you and just says, "You shouldn't be." Oh, wait. Sorry, it's been a while.
You're
I-
French.
You shouldn't be here. And the other one finishes, but you'll never leave.
Oh, is this some sort of party?
It's some sort of roll for initiative.
No. Watson's like, is this a party? I haven't had a very good time at those lately.
It's my mistake. I don't have an invitation.
All right. So we got 2 figures in this room with you. We'll get some initiative going around the horn. I went ahead and pre-rolled this initiative because, it's just fun that way.
We need to set the...
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
All right, just roll initiative. I'll take care of everything else.
You sneaky peeps can use stealth.
Yeah, those of you who are legendary in stealth can choose to roll stealth for initiative if you want to.
Sneaky peeps.
Which, oddly enough, doesn't include Valentine, despite having one of the highest bonuses.
Yeah. It's weird how that works out. But Val also doesn't have big, chunky armor like you guys.
All right, so...
Chunky's not very nice.
Can you put Watson at the fucking door?
Yeah, Watson's right in front of the
Goodness.
All right, so in terms of initiative, Watson, what do you have for initiative?
44.
Sick.
Wow. Dro, what do you have?
40.
Solid. Fox?
43.
Okay, and Val, what about you?
34. Wah, wah.
All right. Initiative is all set. The room's set up. So, Watson, you open the door. They give you those sort of 2-liners. And it's your turn to act first. I will say you notice both of them are, have their hands on spiked chains.
Okay.
If that sounds familiar.
It does.
Yeah, we
it
dealt
does.
with this before.
Yeah, it's this... They look very, very similar to the things that trashed whatever happened to poor Kenzen's shop. Obviously, you killed those, so not the same, but,
If I find Kenzen down here, I'm gonna be real sad.
Okay.
There's
and
a
everyone's
lot...
gonna be real dead.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense to me now, this whole thing of the Grey Gardeners actually being crazy worshippers of something, because at first, around the time we first started encountering them, I was like, why do you guys care so much?
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah.
so dedicated to trying to kill us right now? This seems weird.
So for listeners / Watson, who's sitting over on the far side of the table, you've got this room out in front of you. The door's open. It's about 20 feet to the far side of the room. Then there's a little bit of a room kind of hooking around to your left. But you've got opponents that are, I think, 5 feet diagonally to the northeast and 10 feet to the east away from you.
Yeah. So obviously, seeing what they're about to do, he goes,
Oh, dear.
and I need a DC 40 reflex save.
From both of them or
From
just one of them?
both of them.
Reflex. Okay. That's not a critical failure, but a failure. And that's a critical failure on the second one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Oh, boy.
Remember we were just talking about how the proficiency without level or proficiency with level means that things that were a huge pain to fight, say 2 levels ago?
James, what's your least favorite spell in Pathfinder?
Is it Cone of Cold?
It's Cone of Cold.
Yeah.
I mean the player killer Cone of Cold?
So, one crit failed. Do you just want me to double the result that I get? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is 12d6.
Jesus, yeah. Okay.
That's 56 damage full.
Oh,
Shit.
There's a lot of 6s on this roll.
amazing.
That's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. 56 points of damage in the first one, so then that's 112 for the second?
100 and...
It's
Yeah,
double.
112, yeah.
Look at that. I didn't even have to use the bad at math drop because
Yeah.
I did a basic double multiplication.
Nice job.
You know what? Just wrap the up there. I did math. No.
Yeah.
All right. So you have an action left.
Yeah, I think he will cast... Who's next up in the initiative?
You don't know.
Fair enough. He
But
will
you
cast...
did know that Fox rolled really high, and so did Dro.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He will cast Guidance on Fox.
Okay.
Yay.
So you do high. I'm Watson.
Wow.
They try to give you their ice cold. You shouldn't be here, but you'll never. As
I'll
the
show
ice-
you an icy response.
You know what, Trent?
Yeah,
Patch.
all right.
Val rolls her eyes from behind the door.
All right. Well, sure enough, it is Fox's turn now. Fox, you are jam-packed there in the little 10-foot room behind Watson.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Do they notice me?
It's not like you're not sure if they notice you.
Okay. I'm
That's
just
what I'll
going to
say.
move in far east behind the
You're gonna come in.
Grey Gardener here.
Okay.
By the doors that lead to the
Yeah,
next
sort
room.
of shoot across the room, getting behind the one directly in front of Watson.
Yeah, right there.
And now tell me, are you doing this stealthily, or are you just going to say screw it and go out?
I mean, I think I get to move my full
Do you have quick stealth?
Yeah.
Hey, but the big thing is, I'll roll a stealth check for you behind the screen here if you want to try to do that, or you can just say no.
Actually, I
don't roll
don't see
stealth.
quick stealth.
With legendary, wouldn't he constantly be sneaking?
In
regardless?
exploration modes.
Okay.
This is combat.
So no, I don't have quick stealth.
But you move half your speed. You could still make that. You're fast, right? Or can you not make that?
No, I don't think I can.
So it's up to you. You don't. No, the nice thing is you're high enough in stealth. You don't need to hide behind a thing to stealth. Normally, you need to like maintain cover to stealth. As a legendary, you can stealth without things to hide behind.
That's fine. I still want to be there, so let's just say I stealthed over there.
So
it might take 2 movements.
okay, yep. 2 actions gets you over there behind them. I went ahead and rolled your stealth, so you don't know if they see you or not.
Okay.
But you dart in the shadows, moving in a weird way, trying to be unseen as you dash behind this poor sap.
And I'm gonna stick him with my halberd.
All right. I love the idea that a giant winged, giant winged athlete with a pole arm can be stealthy.
Yeah.
What's that to hit?
39.
39? And I'll tell you what, they are flat-footed, but that's a hit regardless.
Nice.
It's 39, 39.
39. Yep.
Yep, you hit.
39.
And this is the one that got hit less. The sort of the one
Okay.
off to the side is the one that really messed up their save.
One got kind of fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is-
they've had better days, all things considered.
33 piercing damage.
Piercing damage?
Yeah.
Okay, that looks like that all goes through. All right. Wow, that's a solid turn. And it didn't even have to use your guidance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you technically have that until the beginning of Watson's next turn. So if you have any saves
Oh,
that
I
come
see.
up, you
True.
can use it on a save.
That could be great.
Yeah, Drosharis, it's your turn.
All right, Drosharis.
Yeah, you're also kind of packed back into that little
Mhm.
closet room you started in, looking out at these 2 gray gardeners.
is going to attempt to stealth up here.
Okay, yeah, that's a short move, kind of stepping in front of Watson
Mhm.
into the space between the 2 gardeners in the room. Got your stealth bonus. I know what you're looking at. Yeah, you move forward. I don't tell you whether or not... Well, no, they don't react to you. You move so quick, they do not react to that movement.
Okay. Look, the question is, I have a thing that if I hit them when they can't see me, it's extra damage. So I'm going to swing.
Yep, and I'll tell you, I'll let you know if you hit... Well, I guess, are you hitting the one that's between you? Because you're flanking, obviously, right now.
I'm gonna, yeah. So now I'm flanking the one with Fox.
Okay.
So I'm gonna swing at that character.
So he'll be flat-footed this attack regardless, but I will
That's
say
true.
he does not see you.
That's good.
Yeah. This is some, strike
A
team.
natural fucking one here.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
turning the patch
Oh,
in. That's
patchin'.
worth it.
That's
Let's
the fourth
patch it.
one.
What's up with
Today.
these ones, man?
How's
We got this. Come on.
30? I forgot what my new plus is.
That's fair.
36 to hit.
Oh,
Oh, my.
36 is a miss,
I rolled
even
a
with it
3.
being flat-footed.
Dang.
Wow. What I'll say is
36 with a 3 roll is nuts.
Yeah, that's
barely
crazy.
missed. Yeah. But
All
that was only one action of stealth.
Yep. One action
Now,
to swing.
they are now aware of you,
Yeah.
but you are still flanking
Mhm.
because Fox just dashed into the room. You broke through the defensive line.
Yeah.
All right.
That's probably not going to hit either.
I don't know. Let's see. You got that bullshit
35.
fighter bonus. That is
Yep.
still a miss. All right, Val, it's your turn. So, Val, here's what I'm going to say. You determined the sound in that room as your lead.
I did.
So there's 2 things in here. I'm not going to give you both. I'm not going to give you a lead on both of them.
Okay,
But I will let you pick which one you want to be your lead.
gotcha.
So there is the one right in front, the one that everyone's flanking. It's less damaged. There's the one off to the side. They're more damaged. Which one
Okay.
is your lead?
I'm gonna go with more damaged as my
Okay.
lead.
For the miniatures, it's that blue one standing off to kind of Watson's left.
Gotcha.
All right, it's your turn.
Okay, so the lead means that I can do a stratagem for free.
Yep. I will
Which
also
is
note that this room as well seems to be
awesome.
lit by torches. Eerie shadows, but highly visible.
So I did not need to spend that $150.
Was it 150 gold for it?
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Night
there's light
vision
in this
goggles.
room. You don't know where there's not light. There is light in this room.
That's
We're so
true.
rich, it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Having a good flashlight goes a long way.
That's true. Okay, so I am going to devise the stratagem against the lead, which is the more damaged buddy over there.
And that's a free roll. No?
That like hardly rolled. It just like hit the side and
It's
stuck.
actually sort of the Jane spoon.
Okay, whatever.
Jane used to play a board game with like a group. It was called Kingdom Death, and we'd play it. And we had this rule that like Jane's dice had to make sure they rolled at least twice before we counted the number.
Yeah.
Because it would just hit and slide and be like a 2 on a D10.
In my defense, that die that I was using is very heavy because it's made of stone.
What
That's
did it
super
get?
cool.
not
It got
terrible.
an 8. It's not terrible. But I think that she's going to take the free recall knowledge as part of the stratagem.
Okay, I get to do that here. This is going to be a society check. What's your society bonus?
Very high.
high, yeah.
It's a 31 now.
Yeah, you're pretty. You don't know what these are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have I ever rolled a secret check via the GM
that
that
you've actually
has
gotten.
I don't know.
actually worked out?
Yeah, I'm sure you have. You must have.
Okay, so she is not going to attack that target because the stratagem roll was not very good. So instead, she will shoot at the other target.
Okay.
Well, she's going to move up. Yeah, all of that was for free. Wow, the lead is so cool.
Yeah.
So she's going to move up kind of like around next to Watson
I
and
was
just
gonna say,
shoot at the other
You're
guy.
gonna shoot Watson in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So you move up just behind Watson?
Yeah, like kind of up next to him to where I'm in range of the other guy, not the one I just shot at.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't shoot at anyone yet. You mean the one you recalled?
The one that I...
Okay.
attempt-
So you
thought
move
about
up
shooting.
behind Watson.
Like
Yes.
northwest of him.
Yeah, my mini is so far away that I kind of can't see it.
No,
but
I know you
Sorry,
can't.
sorry.
You're fine. So you move up right behind Watson so that you're kind of looking down the line at this enemy right in the middle of fighting with your friends.
Yep.
And then what are you going to do?
shoot him with the gun.
Okay. So go ahead and roll that shot. They're going to have a small bonus to their AC because there are allies in the way, but that shouldn't be wild.
That's a natural 19.
Oh my
nice.
goodness.
So, see, it works out sometimes.
Guns.
Yeah, so that's 50.
That is a critical hit.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, I wasn't prepared for that to work out at all.
Critical.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button.
Oh my God.
You know what? Sorry. Let's roll this one back for you. Here you go, Jane.
Critical hit.
Okay, that's 57 points of damage.
God.
Diggity damn.
Yeah.
God, imagine if that had been your strategic strike too.
Yeah, it would have been way more higher.
57, you said?
Yep.
Is that your
Jeez Louise.
calculated one? Because it may have changed with your level up.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
Frick.
we'll leave it there for now.
Yeah.
You do less
Yeah.
damage for this turn, but
Yeah.
fix it in between turns.
between.
You still have one action left, though, because your first action was free.
Yeah, so because she's now just annoyed about it, she's going to also throw the dagger at this guy.
Okay.
So just give him the old 1-2 of the gun, followed up by the dagger.
Sure.
And wow, all of my things have changed.
Yep.
That's a 43 to hit with the dagger.
That is a hit with the dagger, though.
Excellent.
The favored weapon of Pharasma.
That's true. Is that a crit?
No, not at all.
Just thought I would check. Okay, that's 24 points of damage.
Wow. Solid. All right. 24
Great
points of I'm super stoked about that. Now it is it's actually the one that's taken more damage off to the side's turn. It's got those spinning spiked chains and it's standing right there next to Josharis. So I think it's time to bring back an old favorite. Let's see if we can get some grab game going. So first things first, it's going to swing this spiked chain out at you, Drosharis. That's not my best roll in the world, but how we feel about a 44 to hit.
Oh, hit.
Is it a crit?
No.
No. Well, I can dream a little on good days. So it's going to stab into you. This is going to be slashing damage. I almost said piercing, but then I read my rules. Okay. It's going to be 10, 17... Oh, nice and solid. 30 points of slashing damage.
Oof.
Okay.
And you'll then start suffering bleed,
Mm-hmm.
2d8 at the end of your turn.
Yikes.
It'll take its second action to grab you with the grab ability, so it just does that without a check at the cost of action economy. Is everyone remembering these now? How
Yep.
much fun
Oh, yeah.
these were?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you know what?
Fortitude save?
No.
Okay,
I
good.
was really thinking about going straight for the greater constrict.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's most fun when you have a couple people grabbed by it.
Is it that? Does that make it the most fun, James? How many points of damage did you say again?
30.
30?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Nice, simple damage. So, Jared, you got a great point. You're right. Let's just go ahead. Give me a fortitude save, Jason. Although I feel like you're good enough at fortitude save that maybe this might
Maybe not.
come back and bite me. What do you got?
34.
That is a failure. So
Rolled low.
you're gonna take some slashing damage as it constricts.
Oh, wait. Fortitude. What's the one for fortitude? Juggernaut?
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
It's
so
only on a
a
success,
success
though.
becomes a critical success.
Okay.
That's fine though. Oh, that's right. Oh, because greater constrict. This is why this fight was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you're going to deal this damage right away. Regardless, you're going to go ahead and take 19 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you failed this save, you fall unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because it chokes you out here, yeah. Each of those creatures can attempt a basic fortitude save against the DC. A creature that fails that save is unconscious, and a creature that succeeds is temporarily immune to falling unconscious from greater constrict for a minute. But you failed.
Mm-hmm.
So you watch Drosharis just go whiter in the face
Yeah.
and kind of pass out. It's this second one's turn. It's got Fox right there next to it. He's going to whip around, whip that chain back at you, and we're going to try for that same thing. This is not as good to hit. Fox, 42 to hit.
Hits.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take that. I feel good. I was nervous. I feel like, you're a big angry guy.
Hit me by 1.
Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be, wow. This is going to be 20 points of damage.
Okay.
You'll also be taking 2d8 points of bleed damage because it'll inflict bleed. It is going to go ahead and grab you. So then it's going to constrict as well. So first, let's start with the damage for constrict. That's going to be not crazy. It's going to come out to a real solid 20 points of slashing damage from the constrict.
Okay.
And then you're going to need to make a fortitude save. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as a treat for our listeners, they should tune in next week to find out the result of that save.
Yeah.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Leave a review and tune in next week for more. If you like the amazing background audio and music, all that credit goes to Syrinscape. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com.